I, as long as it's hard to say it's my success. So as long as part of the conversation is able to really hear, I love so much of the things I've been a part of, right, with others. One, I would say, for us to have constructed a graduate program at Humboldt, making that effort and choice, living where we were in Humboldt County, the long history of Humboldt County, between the tribes and between the settlers who came. I think it was critical that the social work program make a commitment and focus on an educational process that informed and prepared future social workers to understand the indigenous communities of the Northwest there. And that it ultimately, and I hope it's moving in that direction, that it ultimately be taught and run by indigenous people in the area. It still touches me a great deal to think about the chances and the trust and the risks that our tribal friends and community partners took in supporting us, because the social work program is part of a larger system. It's part of a state university system. It's part of a community in which most services are provided by the local governments. And those have been historically the largest systems that deny the rights of tribal people, deny the history, and have a lack of respect for the integrity of tribes. And so for us to have worked together to try to create a graduate program that for the future, hopefully, is going to continually encourage new social workers to think about the importance not only of where they are, why place is so important, and understand that relationship historically, but I want to manifest some of the best that we can, not just respecting, but engaging actively, living and thinking in different ways, like many of the tribes do, with all the suffering and all of the impact of colonization, the difficulties between settlers who believe that they've earned the rights to land and property, and the differences in beliefs about how to share that space, the rivers, the environmental conditions we work and live in. But I think the beauty there was that when we made that effort or sought out to make that effort, it was so meaningful to have partners in our tribes willing to work and support us in that effort, not knowing really how it could turn out. And their courage and their willingness to do that, I think meant a great deal, to the extent that my part in trying to make sure that that program happened really was to fulfill that trust and that hope that that program would be different. It's going to face all kinds of challenges for a long time, but it exists, and it can now be a place in which those challenges can be made public, and they can be the challenging kinds of dialogue that should be happening in social work that becomes possible now. So I would say that's like one thing that's, of course, more recent and particularly important to me that I was a part of.